Okay, so we've got these all milled up now and then ripped into the appropriate widths for the board. So I'm going to take them over to the radial arm saw. We're going to trim them up so they've got square edges, trim them up to size, and then they're ready for engraving and the rest of the process. So we've got all the blocks cut now. This is for the first batch of 50. So first of all, I'm going to engrave these. I've got it set up in two different engraves. You'll see in a sec, but it's basically to save time. These blocks are 450mm long. If I was just going to set this up and allow it to cut the whole engraving, both logos, and it marks out the centre of the holes for me, if I was going to leave that to just engrave, it takes 20 minutes. Now, what we've done is, we've set it so it's just going to cut one logo and 3 holes, and then we turn the block and it engraves the other side, and that takes 8 minutes. Okay, so it saves a lot of time. Obviously, the head doesn't have to go backwards and forwards. Now, that's good, but what you need to make sure is that it's set up exact, because as you can imagine, if you do it that way and then turn it over, they might not be in line. Okay, we've taken measurements and it's exact, so let's go ahead and do them. City. Okay, so now all the holes are cut. I've just roughly sanded the tops, and that's basically just to get rid of any major burrs on there. Basically, just so it doesn't interfere with the router cutter when we put the chamfer on it. So we're going to put 3 different chamfers on this. A real shallow one, just where the holes are, and the reason we're only putting a small, shallow chamfer on there is we want it to look nice, and it really defines the product when you do that. You can't just leave the holes as they are, but we don't want it to compromise the support that the shot glass gets in there. Okay, so it's a nice deep hole, but we don't want it to compromise. So we put a real deep one across the base, and that really defines it, gives it a nice deep shadow. We'll get the router set up and we'll get that done. so now that we've got the chamfers around the holes for the shot glasses, we've got a chamfer around the top. What we're going to do now is we're going to chamfer the bottom as well, but with the bottom it's a much deeper one. What we're trying to do is we want it to really have a nice shadow line around the product, and it just, you know, makes it look really good. So I'm going to reset the router table and then we'll get the bases routed. Okay, so these are all sanded up now. We've got the two logos on the top there. Everything's sanded nice and flush, so we're going to go ahead and just engrave the Isle of Wight logo, the Tipsy Wight logo, on the back. So we'll show you how we do that. So we've got some masking tape and we're just going to figure out which way we're going to pour the epoxy just to fill some of these effects up and make them a bit more acceptable for the customer. So we'll get cracking. This one's probably the trickiest one just because obviously it's all going to flow down, so this is going to be the trickiest one, I think. And also, because it's so close to the engraving, we don't want any of the epoxy going into the engraving. This is quite a tricky one. Right. Okay, so I'm using West System epoxy resin. I don't have much left, so we'll see how we go. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So while that's drying, we'll crack on with the others. Just going to clean up the brush, and then we'll mix up the finish. Okay, so we're finishing these with teak oil. Thin it down very slightly, just so it really soaks in. Give it a couple of coats, and then they're done. So as you can see, they're all oiled up now. What we'll do is we'll just let them soak in for a bit, a couple more coats, and they're ready to go. We'll check out how the epoxy's doing. So once they're dry, we'll sand them up. So we'll see how they're doing. These have had the night to dry, and they're nice and solid. So what we'll do is we'll take off the masking tape, we'll give these all a sand up, and then we'll oil them just like the rest, and then we're done. Okay, so we've cleaned those up. I've re-drilled them if needs be. We've filed the inside. We've only got, what we've got, 6, 7 here, which needed sort of filling with epoxy. So that's fine. Now that's done, I'm going to oil these up, and then that's it. We're done. All right, guys, there you have it. Some shot glass paddle boards for Tipsy Wight. If you like your flavoured vodka as much as we do, I'll put a link in the description to Tipsy Wight's website. And if you like the video, please leave a comment, click a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We've been the Island Workshop. See you next time.